The day I interviewed Lydia Ingegneri from the Gate Church in Nashville, we were just talking. My wife was actually there with me, and the three of us were talking about how it's pretty easy, pretty common for people in the congregation to put leaders up on a pedestal. And having done that, then it makes it even more difficult for the leader to admit any kind of difficulties, problems, whatever in their life. And that's a challenging kind of thing. But how it's so necessary for us to be able to admit those things. And so I thought Lydia had some not only good insights, but also she shares some of her story that's pretty challenging. So take a listen.
I think I learned that especially when my husband and I were senior pastoring our church, more so than when I was the worship leader, was there is just, especially when you're the senior pastor, there's just this thing that people do to you, and it was especially for me. We took over the senior pastorate of a church that we planted in our early 20s, and we took over the senior pastorate when we were 30. I already had 2 boys, I had 2 toddlers, and I just had our twins, and the twins were only 4 months old. And I don't even remember what the first year of that year of leadership looked like. I mean, seriously, people ask me how I made it. I'm like, one moment at a time. Like, I can't even tell you what I did in ministry that year. Probably nothing. I mean, I was ministering to my family, which is never nothing. Family is always first. But I just remember feeling how much I needed to be with the other moms and just be treated like a normal mom. And that wasn't available for me. Doesn't mean it's like that in every church, but for my specific experience, that was such a lonely time. Because, I was the senior pastor, I was the co-pastor with my husband, and you don't have any needs. You're strong, you can do everything. You're Wonder Woman, and you can lead worship and raise 4 children and run the women's ministry and da-da-da-da-da. When I'm at home crying every night because I'm dealing with postpartum depression so badly, like I literally can't see to the next day, And so when I say I've had dark seasons where my world is falling apart, I've had many. I've lost 2 children, and a lot of people don't know that about me. I've lost a home. We lost most of our finances in the recession. I get it. I get the loss and the hurt, I think so many leaders feel like they have to have it all together, and there just is no such thing. There is just no such thing. And I would say if you're that leader who is sitting there saying, my world is falling apart, thank you for saying that your world is falling apart, and not feeling like you have to be perfect and like you have to carry it all on your own, because you don't. I get it. I get the loss and the hurt, So, but I also know the redemption of God and how faithful He is to His beloved. He's faithful. He's so faithful. So, yeah, leadership's a hard road.
She's right. Leadership is hard. And I don't know that there's a way that you can ever stop people from putting you up on that pedestal. I don't think that's going to happen. But you need to, at the same time, be willing to admit that you have struggles, that there are difficulties in your life, and be willing to give voice to those things, because it's so much easier for people in a congregation to follow somebody who doesn't seem like they're absolutely perfect, because that's not where most people live. They can't relate to that kind of person. But somebody who admits that they have difficulties and struggles, they get that, and it makes sense, and so they're more willing to follow. And so as you consider leading now and in the future, I just want you to consider that. What does that mean for you? Don't put on that false face. Don't make it so that people want to put you up on that pedestal. Be real. Don't tell them everything, all right? But at the same time, be honest and genuine, so that people will recognize this is somebody who struggles with the same things that I do, and yet they're still willing to worship God even in the midst of those things. That's a powerful testimony and will make a difference in the life of the people.
Brought to you by MyWorshipLeadingCoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.